thank you. Good, but not great. Marilyn, I need a little bit more passion, huh? A little more heat.
Talk to Bill. You can't get heat from an old furnace.
Well, this old furnace was biting necks while you were still in diapers.
Stuff it, Fang.
Stuff it, Fang? What does that mean, stuff it, Fang, huh?
Okay, you two, time out. Take a break, please, while we set up for Marilyn's close-up. Funky, to here.
Mr. Shane. Hi. I've got some more posters for you to sign.
Oh, so the last batch sold out?
In 3 days.
Good. Oh, that's lovely.
If you will.
Attention, everybody! Everybody, may I have your attention? Mr. Barnett has an announcement to make.
I just want you to all know that I not only closed the European deal for Kiss of the Vampire 2, but I wrapped up the financing for Kiss of the Vampire 3.
Which means all vacations are canceled. We start filming 2 days after we wrap this production.
What is this, a movie studio or a rest home? Get back to work, all of you.
Leo.
May I? How's it going, Jason?
Well, we're right on schedule.
Let me give you a word of advice, kid. There's no point being on schedule if you don't shoot what you're supposed to shoot.
What are you talking about?
Marilyn's nude scene. I looked at the dailies. Where is it?
Marilyn and I both felt uncomfortable about her doing it.
Oh, really? Well, this is my studio, and if I want her buck naked, that's how you'll direct her. And if you're uncomfortable with that, well, then maybe I'll find another director who isn't. Now shoot the nude scene, kid.
Okay.
Marilyn, dinner reservations tonight at 8 at Christus. Got some people who want to meet you.
Leah, I'm really sick of you dangling me like bait in front of your investors. I'm not doing it anymore.
Wear the red dress. And don't be late.
And I'm really sick of your threats. I mean it, Leah. Leave me alone or I'm gonna kill you.
Don't make me laugh. It's not good for my hernia. Well, if it isn't my precious daughter.
Hello, Father.
Still angry at me, huh?
No. After 11 years of therapy, I've gotten over my anger. Now I just hate you.
Come on, stick around, sweetheart. You can hate me over lunch.
I'd rather starve.
Leo, I can't do the sequel right away. I told you, Coppola wants me for his next project. It's my big break.
Sure, I understand. You'd much rather work on a Francis Coppola film than another one of my crappy horror flicks.
Oh, can you blame me?
No, not at all. And I'd let you out if you hadn't signed that ironclad contract.
Postpone the sequel, Leo. Or else.
Nice try, Billy boy. But you don't even scare me in dailies.
You've got a 12 o'clock with the marketing people, Mr. Barnett, and a 2 o'clock screening, which leaves us open for a private meeting at 1, Leo.
Cancel it. You and I have had one private meeting too many. Hey, Pops. Payroll told me you need a little advance. Take care of your wife's surgery.
That's right, Mr. Barnett.
Well, forget it. What the hell, you think I'm made of money?
Killing.
Leo? Oh, my God. He's dead.
The kiss of the vampire.
It's Burke's Law.
morning, Henry.
Is it? I hadn't noticed. Peter, are you busy this morning?
No, not really. Why?
I was wondering if you had time to arrest me. I'll go quietly.
Henry, what is it you're trying to tell us?
I was at the market writing a check for our groceries, and the checker noticed that my driver's license expired a year ago last month. I'm a fugitive from the law.
There's nothing that a trip to the DMV can't cure. Chief Burke here. All right, we're on our way.
What's up?
There's been a murder. Henry, make an appointment to take your driver's test. I'll ride with Peter.
Who's the victim?
Leo Barnett.
Leo Barnett. He's the king of horror movies.
Was. I'm afraid the king is dead.
Morning. Help you?
You forgot to signal back there.
Right.
No, I didn't.
Henry always glides to a stop.
Dad!
All right, I'll say no more.
Thank you.
But you didn't signal back there. Afternoon, Lily.
Hello, Chief. Hi, Pete.
Hey, Lil.
You're not going to believe this one.
Try me.
Take a look at his neck.
Fang marks? As in vampire?
I know. Sounds crazy. We'll have a better idea after the autopsy.
Any witnesses?
Not really. It happened in the dark. Somebody threw the circuit breaker. As a matter of fact, I better go have another look at that.
Hard to believe. I keep feeling like he's gonna jump up off that bed and start yelling at me to get back to work.
And you are?
Jason Ripley. I'm directing Kiss of the Vampire.
Would you know anyone who had a reason to kill Mr. Barnett?
Yeah. Anyone who ever paid to see one of his movies. Anyone who ever did business with him. Anyone who ever worked with him.
That is not true. Leo Barnett may have pushed people, but he pushed people to do their best. And he started some of the top people in this business, which is something you'll never be, you ingrate.
You can put all the spin on this you want, Emily. The fact is, the guy was a monster. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get ready for tomorrow's shooting.
I don't know what Leo ever saw in that snot-nosed egomaniac. Poor Leo.
You seem to have known Leo Barnett very well.
Better than anyone. I was his personal assistant for over 20 years. Emily Simmons.
Amos Burke, chief of homicide. This is my son, Detective Peter Burke.
We'll need a list of everyone who was on the set today.
All right. But if you're casting about for a suspect, I might be able to help you. I heard someone threaten to kill Leo today.
Who was that?
Well, I'm not saying she did it, but it was Marilyn Devine, the picture star. Just before Leo was murdered, I heard her threaten to kill him.
Why?
You'll have to ask her.
Well, Peter, let's see if we can scare up some answers from Miss Devine. Easy, Peter. Do you want me to drive?
I know. Glide. Glide.
Looks like Miss Devine is taking her show on the road.
Marilyn Devine?
Yeah, what is it?
Homicide. We're here about Leo Barnett.
Taking a trip?
A trip? No. Thank you. Great.
How long did you know Leo Barnett?
5 years, which is 5 years too long.
Maybe you'd like to tell us what you two were fighting about today.
I really don't remember.
But you did threaten to kill him.
Probably. I did it all the time. He treated me like I was his slave.
Why'd you keep working for him?
Look, I had no choice. I was under contract. I couldn't blow my nose unless he approved. He decided what I wore, the color of my nail polish, what I had for lunch, and who I had it with. Leo ran my life. Now he's dead, and I'm glad.
Why are you packing if you're not going on a trip?
It's everything Leo ever gave me, everything that reminds me of him, including the car.
So, were you just gonna give all that stuff away?
Not exactly. so much better now. Does that make me guilty?
Of disturbing the peace? Definitely. As far as killing Leo Barnett, I'm not so sure.
I am. I didn't.
Any guess who did?
Leo had 2 puncture marks on his neck. We had just finished shooting that film with that old hack William Shane as Dracula. You added up.
Peter, I think we should have an interview with the vampire.
That's it. Excellent. I could really feel the terror that time. You must be the policeman that called. I'm William Shane, at your service.
What's going on?
Acting. It's a little scream test, if you will. These ladies are my students. You might say they're dying to get into horror films.
Well, speaking of dying, we'd like to talk to you about Leo Barnett.
Oh, of course, of course. Ladies, why don't you practice your zombie walk now while I talk with these gentlemen, all right? Acting. One of the world's oldest professions. You know anything about the craft, detective?
Oh, a little. My motivation is to find out who killed Leo Barnett, and my objective is to get you to admit that you did it.
Well, I'm afraid that won't be easy, though. I'm innocent. Of course, I could try to act like I'm guilty. Yes, I did it. I sank my fangs into the cigar-smoking son of a bitch and sucked out every drop of his cold-hearted blood! Thank you. Continue on, zombies.
Very impressive, Mr. Shane. Tell me this. Did you act the part of a killer to get out of your contract with Leo Barnett?
How did you know about that?
We checked. You were suing him.
Now, Leo had me tied up for endless sequels to Kiss of the Vampire. And I had other more lucrative job offers I had to turn down because the bastard wouldn't give me a lousy 3 months off.
Mr. Barnett had 2 bite marks in his neck. You were wearing fangs, weren't you?
And they were just cheap plastic. I can't take a bite out of a sandwich, let alone puncture a neck. And yes, I hated Leo for holding me to my contract, but...
It was nothing you would kill him over.
I believe that was my line.
Well, I played the scene a few times myself, you know.
Well, perhaps then you could feed me my next speech.
Well, it's the one where you tell us you think you know who killed Leo Barnett.
Well, if you're looking for the murderer, Leo's daughter, Leona, would be typecast.
Why is that?
Well, she hated her father with a passion, and she left the set just moments before he was killed.
Where can we find her?
She owns a memorabilia store in Hollywood. The Little Shop of Monsters.
Look at it. War of the Worlds. You remember that?
Of course. It was a classic.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to the fellow who starred in it. He was very good.
Welcome to the Little Shop of Monsters. Can I help you?
Yeah, we're looking for a murderer.
Well, you've come to the right place. Jack the Ripper, Norman Bates, Freddy Krueger, you name it. I got it.
How about Leona Barnett? I'm Chief Burke of Homicide. We're here to ask you about your father's death.
Ah, death. My favorite subject. A nice juicy one. This ought to make Igor happy. Dinner is served, babies.
Carnivorous plants. An unusual hobby.
Only the strong survive in this world. Kill or be killed. My father taught me that.
We understand you and your father didn't get along.
We were totally different. He was more of a monster than anything he put in his films.
Your interests don't seem all that different to me.
I opened this shop because nothing is more fascinating than the exploration of the dark side of human behavior.
And your father?
He was in it only for the money.
Which, coincidentally, you stand to inherit.
When the lights came up after your father was killed, you were gone. You had motive, you had opportunity.
Wrong. I didn't have either. My mother set me up with a generous trust fund. I did not need to kill Daddy for money. And I'd already left the stage when Daddy Dearest was killed.
I understand there's going to be a memorial service for your father tomorrow on the soundstage. Do you plan on being there?
I already told you death is my favorite subject. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Why? Are you going to come?
I wouldn't miss it for the life of me.
I know how much Leo would have appreciated all of you being here today. I thought we might each share some of our fond memories of Leo. Who would like to start?
I will.
Leo?
Sorry, Mr. Vine. My name is Max. Max Barnett. Leo's twin brother. Leo and I may have been identical twins, but we weren't anything alike. Leo was loud, mean, ruthless.
The perfect movie mogul.
Why don't we step into Leo's office? Your pops, right?
That's right, Mr. Barnett.
I found a note on my brother's desk that your daughter needs an operation.
My wife, sir.
Ah, your wife. Well, don't worry about the money. You just send me all of the bills.
Well, thank you, Mr. Barnett.
So Leo ran the studio while I divided my time between London and Rome running European distribution. Leo and I did our work over the phone, and a couple of times a year he would come to Europe.
Well, that would explain why everyone was so surprised to see that Leo had an identical twin.
Yes. For everyone except my niece Leona, I was just a name on a letterhead. Have a seat, please. I am going to do everything in my power to help you find my brother's killer. As a matter of fact, I'm making preparations to offer a substantial reward.
I appreciate that. But it occurs to me that with your brother dead, you stand to inherit a lot more than just this office.
Meaning?
Some people would consider that a motive for murder.
You two think that I killed my brother? We're identical twins. That would be like me killing myself.
Nevertheless, where were you when your brother was killed?
I don't believe this. There is some crazed maniac running around out there, and you're sitting there accusing me. I don't have time for this nonsense.
If you prefer, you can answer these questions in the presence of your lawyer.
I don't need a lawyer. I will answer any question you have to ask me, and I will do it wired to a lie detector.
A polygraph test is not necessary.
I insist. This way I can get back to running the studio, and you can get back to finding Leo's murderer.
All right, if that's what you want, Max. I'll arrange for a polygraph test at my office this afternoon, 4 o'clock.
Fine, I'll be there. Oh, and there's something else you should know. The reason Leo asked me to fly out here from London, there was some problem with the books. He suspected a trusted employee of embezzling large sums of money from us.
And who would that be?
Leo's assistant, Emily Simmons.
Sit down. I made a pot of tea. I'll bring you some.
I don't know, Dad. She doesn't strike me as the embezzler type, you know, let alone someone who could kill Leo Barnett.
When it comes to murder, it takes all types. Burke's law.
I am your master. You are my slave. Bark like the dog you really are. Good. What am I wearing? Well, nothing, actually. Except for a pair of knee-high black leather boots. And I have a riding crop to punish you, my bad, bad boy. Take that. And that. And the next time you call, I won't go so easy on you.
About your Burke's law. Point well taken.
Thank you.
Here we go.
If you don't mind my asking, who are you talking to?
Well, the phone sex is just a hobby. You see, when I first came to Hollywood, I wanted to be an actress. And Leo cast me in one of his films, Bloodfest.
I'm afraid I missed it.
Well, you didn't miss me. Because when I stepped out in front of the camera, I froze. I couldn't say my lines. I couldn't move. The director fired me on the spot, but Leo felt bad, and so he offered me a job as his secretary, and I've been with him ever since.
That's a touching story. But what has that got to do with the phone call?
Well, you see, I never really got the acting bug out of my system. And this way, I get to play any part I want without the intimidation of the camera. And it doesn't hurt anyone, and I pick up some extra cash.
Well, word is you've been picking up extra money somewhere else as well.
I know what you're talking about. And there's no truth to it. I never embezzled a dime from Leo.
That's not what Max Barnett thinks. And according to him, Leo had the same suspicions.
Well, Max Barnett is wrong. And if you think I had anything to do with Leo's death, you're wrong about that, too. I have to take this call. Hello? Delilah will be right with you. Excuse me. I have a part to play.
Let's just hope you haven't played the part of the killer.
Here's your murder weapon.
An ice pick.
We found it in a studio dumpster. The blood type on the ice pick matches that of the victim.
Good work, Lily.
And there's more. Those neck wounds were superficial. What really killed Leo Barnett was that ice pick driven through his left eardrum into his brain.
Ouch.
Pretty ghoulish, huh?
But very effective. Anything else?
Well, nothing yet. But I'm gonna run this ice pick through every test in the book.
Picky.
Did you stab Leo Barnett?
No.
Did you contribute to his death in any way?
No, I didn't. So, Chief, you convinced yet?
I'd like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
Fire away. I have nothing to hide.
Did you hate your brother, Leo Barnett?
I love the guy.
Did you ever fight with Leo over the control of the studio?
Never.
All right, one last question. Did you kill your brother, Leo Barnett?
Absolutely not.
Still in the truth, Chief.
Now are we finished?
Yeah, finished for now. Thanks for your trouble, Mr. Barnett.
Well, now that we've gotten this out of the way, maybe you can concentrate on finding the real killer.
I'll do that. See Mr. Barnett out.
Max Barnett sure looks like the cat who ate the canary. Take it he passed the test.
With flying colors. He's either telling the truth or he deserves to play the starring role in one of his movies.
Take a look at this background check on our whiz kid director, Jason Ripley.
Oh, what do you know? He was arrested for assault on 2 occasions.
Yeah, and look who he assaulted.
Leo Barnett and Leo Barnett. Looks like the director may have decided to play the killer himself. You better talk to him.
Yeah, how are you gonna get home?
Don't you worry, the department has provided a driver for me. And here she is now.
Ready to roll when you are, Chief.
Hey, you watch out for this guy.
Shall we?
Ripley!
Burke! I heard you were looking for me.
You heard right. What are you doing out here?
I'm thinking about my next picture. The good, the bad, and the vampire.
Catchy!
Chief Burke coming?
Nope.
It's just you and me, Ripley. Word is, the studio wasn't big enough for you and Leo Barnett. Don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, I got a couple police reports say you do.
Oh, that? Oh, that's no big deal. Leo never even pressed charges.
Yeah, well, still looks mighty suspicious considering the man you roughed up twice is now on Boot Hill.
Leo and I fought a lot. Leo was in it for the money. I was in for the glory. And maybe an Oscar before I'm 30.
Well, you're not gonna win many Oscars making movies like Kiss of the Vampire.
I know, but everyone has to start somewhere, and Leo was my start. It'd be pretty stupid for me to kill him.
If you're telling me the truth.
You calling me a liar?
What are you waiting for? Go for it. Detective Burke.
Ripley here.
Yeah, what do you got, Lily? Okay, I'll tell Dad. Thanks.
I'm due back on the set. Anything else?
Yeah. I hope you're being a straight shooter with me. Because if you haven't, I'll be back with the posse.
Oh, Amos, thank goodness you're here.
Vinny, what are you doing here?
I took Henry for his driving test.
How'd he do? Henry, Vinny told me the news about your driver's test.
I don't know what's happening. I've been driving for 35 years, not an accident, not even a ticket. All of a sudden, the examiner's next to me in the car, and I can't even parallel park.
He backed over a fire hydrant.
I choked. I pressed. Look at that. I can't cook. I can't even drive. I've dishonored myself and you. I have no choice. I will resign.
I don't accept your resignation. I need you. I want you to take that test again. And that's an order.
Hey, Henry, how'd that driving test go?
Why is everyone picking on me?
Henry, don't leave. Listen, let's talk. Henry, I can help you with that test. I swear, I can help him. I really will, and I will help him. He'll pass it, you'll see. By the way, this is the bill for the hydrant. Oof, that's expensive.
How'd you do with Jason Ripley?
I'd say it was a draw. But I did hear from Lily she found traces of bisodium stearate on the ice pick that was used to kill Leo Barnett.
Bisodium stearate? They use that to make nerve gas.
Right, but it has another application as well. Here, take a look.
Fertilizer for carnivorous plants.
As in Leona Barnett and her Venus fly. How do you know that stuff?
I read a lot. Anyway, it looks like our owner of the little shop of monsters, maybe a little monster herself.
That's right, be afraid. It's Frankenstein's monster. And there's Frankie's beautiful bride. Isn't she adorable?
Trying to scare up some business?
If you came to buy a Columbo costume, you came to the wrong place.
No, actually, I was hoping you could tell me what the well-dressed ice pick murderer is wearing this season. Or should I say, murderess?
And what's that supposed to mean?
We found the weapon that was used to kill your father, an ice pick. It has traces of bisodium stearate on it. Sound familiar?
Well, I use an ice pick to aerate the soil of my plants, yeah.
Can I see it, please?
Well, actually, I don't know where it is. I lost it at the studio.
Why'd you bring an ice pick to the studio?
Well, William Shane, you know, the star of Kiss of the Vampire, thought it would be a good idea if his character was feeding a Venus flytrap in one of the scenes, so he asked me to bring some plants down to the stage.
And you brought your ice pick, too.
Well, of course. I had to take care of my babies.
And maybe your dad.
No. I know I told you I thought he was a monster, but I didn't kill him. You should talk to William Shane. He had an argument with Daddy right before he was killed. And the last place I saw my ice pick was in William Shane's dressing room.
Mr. Shane?
The usual.
Okay.
Mr. Shane.
Ah, the detectives. I've been expecting you. Won't you join me?
You do a great Bela Lugosi.
Thank you. He was my inspiration. You'll excuse me if I go ahead and eat. I'm wanted back on the set shortly.
Of course.
How can I help you?
Well, you can start by telling us about the ice pick Leona Barnett left in your dressing room.
An ice pick? What ice pick?
The one that was used to kill Leo Barnett.
Leona said she left an ice pick in my dressing room, huh? Well, sorry, fellas. I didn't see it. Ah. You think it's easy eating solid food with fangs in your mouth? I'm sorry, Leona has something against me. I thought we were friends.
She heard you fighting with her father the morning that he was killed. What was that about?
A pink poodle.
What?
A pink poodle. Name of the racehorse. Was running in the 7th race at Hollywood Park last week. Leo knew I liked to bet on the ponies, and he said she was a sure thing.
And you bet a bundle, huh?
More than I should have. His sure thing came in last. So what Leona heard was me telling her father about what I thought about his handicapping abilities.
People have killed for less.
Maybe. But I didn't. Now, gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, I want to start my lunch.
Okay, Henry. First question. What is the speed limit in a school zone?
15 miles per hour.
No! No, that's wrong.
It's hopeless.
It's not hopeless, no. Not with Vinny's magical memory method. Here we go. Okay, what do we got here?
Tomatoes.
No, they're not tomatoes. They're 25 little kids on their way to school. Now, what is the speed limit in a school zone?
25 miles per hour.
Yes! Here's your prize. Okay, now.
Henry? Vinny?
What's this, lunch?
I thought you were going over the questions to Henry's driving test.
Oh, we are. You are about to see a demonstration that will stun you. Vinny's magical memory method. Watch this. Here we go. Fire hydrant. Oh, and look at all the little doggies. There are 10 little doggies around the fire hydrant. Look, see the 10 little doggies? Okay, the question is, how close can you park to a fire hydrant without squishing the little pups?
10 feet.
10, you see? Do you see? Ha ha! Association. That's the secret.
Very imaginative, yes. Henry, didn't I call you and tell you we were coming home for lunch?
Oh, I forgot.
Uh-oh.
Be ready in a minute. How does sausage sound?
Oh, that sounds fine.
Dad, I'll go with the salad, Henry.
Yeah, I'll have a salad, too.
Stay put, I got it. Hi, come on in.
Thanks.
Dad, it's Marilyn Devine.
Oh, yes, Miss Devine. Is something wrong?
Well, I'm afraid I haven't been totally honest with you. I have a confession to make.
Won't you come in and sit down?
Is this about Leo Barnett?
No, actually, it's about my director, Jason Ripley. Jason has a crush on me, and I like him too, but, you know, as a friend. Anyway, Jason was really angry with Leo for what he had done to me.
And that was what?
Turned Betty Jean Fay into Marilyn Devine. Leo was making a movie in El Paso, and he discovered me working as a cashier in a convenience store. The next thing I knew, I was taking voice lessons and wearing contacts instead of glasses, and my bus went from a 34B to a 36D. Leo transformed a simple, small-town girl into a Hollywood horror film sex bot.
A lot of girls would have killed for a break like that.
Well, sure. I mean, at first I felt like I was in a fairy tale, you know? But Leo never told me the price. He didn't tell me that he would own me body and soul. And he didn't tell me that there would be no happy ending for Betty Jean.
Well, what does this have to do with Jason Ripley?
Jason's crush wasn't on Marilyn Devine. It was on Betty Jean, the girl I used to be. He knew that I was miserable, and he knew who was responsible. 2 days ago, he told me that if Leo was the only thing that was making me unhappy, he would do something to take care of it. For good.
And you think Jason Ripley killed Leo out of love for you?
I hope not. But I'm afraid so.
Ripley! Jason! Very funny, Ripley. Come on.
Hello, detective. Looking for something?
Yeah, you. Something's come up. Like a motive for you to kill Leo Barnett.
That's crazy.
We know about your feelings for Marilyn Devine. And how you told her you were going to take care of Leo.
Yeah, so I never said I was going to kill him.
What did you mean?
Well, you see, detective, there's a very intimate relationship that develops between an actress and her director. I got to know the real Marilyn, felt her pain, and it hurt me.
So you decided to hurt Leo Barnett?
No, I decided to buy out Marilyn's contract. Nothing more.
How much money did you offer?
Well, I would have paid every penny I had, but unfortunately, Leo was killed before I had the chance to.
Detective Burke, security told me you were here. I know who killed my brother. I told you that my brother was worried about his assistant, Emily Simmons, stealing from us?
She said she wasn't.
Oh, yeah? Well, then how do you explain this message I found on his voicemail?
I just heard, Leo. I can't believe that after all these years you're doing this to me. If you go through with it, I'll kill you. I swear I'll kill you. That after all these years you're doing this to me. If you go through with it, I'll kill you. I swear I'll kill you. It's not what you think.
So you didn't kill him?
When I made that call, I wanted to, but no, I didn't.
You sounded angry enough to kill.
Because Leo broke his promise.
What promise?
To marry me.
We didn't even know you were engaged.
Well, not in so many words. But we spent the last 20 years together, more than half of them as lovers. Leo told me if he ever married again, it would be me.
And he decided to marry someone else. Who?
His dream girl, Marilyn Devine. I made that call the moment I found out.
And when he wouldn't talk to you, you made good your threat, and you killed him.
No! I loved Leo. I could never have killed him.
And how did you find out about his wedding plans?
From his daughter, Leona. Well, she was upset that her father intended to marry a woman who was young enough to be her sister. So upset, in fact, that she brought me this.
A voodoo doll.
Weird, huh? She even wanted me to get a lock of her father's hair for it.
Peter, I think you better have another talk with Leona Barnett. See if we can pin the murder on her.
Excuse me. I'm looking for something in a voodoo doll.
I'm sorry, we're all out.
Maybe you'd like this one back.
You're gonna tell me how much that pin through Daddy's head reminds you of an ice pick, aren't you?
And then I'm gonna read you your rights, and then I'm gonna take you downtown.
Even if I'm innocent.
Convince me.
If you search his house, you'll probably find 10 other voodoo dolls I sent him over the years.
So what, you sent him a doll every time you were upset with him?
Yeah. When I was little, he left me for a skiing trip to Aspen, so I made him a doll with a pin through its legs. Another time he went golfing, so I made him a doll with a pin through its arms. And one time he took a starlet for a weekend in Palm Springs, so I made him a doll...
I get the message. Why the pin through the head?
To let him know that I thought his marrying Marilyn Devine was crazy. But this is the first one that ever worked. And now that Daddy's gone, I'm sorry I ever made it.
Going over the case, Dad?
Yeah. I'm getting nowhere.
You know, hanging around these movie sets got me thinking. You would have made a pretty good actor yourself.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know, you're handsome, charming, and you always have that certain theatrical flair when the moment calls.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of like Cary Grant with a badge.
Oh, even Cary Grant couldn't crack this one. I keep thinking the answer is staring me right in the face, but I just don't see it. I take that back.
What?
Suddenly, the answer is crystal clear.
Now that I know who you really are, I'm afraid to love you.
But true love means never having to say you're afraid.
And cut. Folks, that's a wrap.
Congratulations, everyone, on wrapping your movie. Now I'd like to wrap up some business of my own. The murder of Leo Barnett. As his brother, you stood to gain the most from his death, didn't you?
Maybe, but I didn't kill him.
That's right. You passed the polygraph test. Leona, I want the truth from you.
About what?
How much is going to cost me to buy that War of the Worlds poster? It was one of my favorite movies.
You got it, Chief.
Oh, Miss Simmons, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm innocent.
Of killing Leo Barnett, yes, but I've heard your 900 number phone calls. I'd hardly call you innocent. Well, Mr. Ripley, I'm afraid you've directed your last vampire film.
What are you talking about?
Well, I read this morning that you just signed to direct a big-budget Western. Happy trails, partner. Marilyn Devine. You got what you wanted.
What do you mean?
According to your contract, now that Leo's dead, you're absolutely free to do what you really desire. So, choose well. Well, that leaves you, Mr. Shane.
But I didn't do anything.
Ah, but you have. You've thrilled and chilled millions of moviegoers for years. Your movies may not have won any Oscars, but people consider them all classics, including me. I didn't realize it until a short time ago. But none of you murdered Leo Barnett. Because the real victim was Max Barnett. Wasn't he, Leo?
That is utterly absurd.
Your eyeglasses gave you away, Leo.
I am not Leo.
Oh, yes, you are. And I know it because your brother Max was extremely nearsighted. You, on the other hand, have perfect vision. You see, these are not corrective lenses. They're clear glass. Now, when we talked in your office, you took them off for a few moments. I noticed then that something was wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. What was wrong was that the lenses didn't distort the memo beneath them.
These glasses don't prove anything.
Oh, not by themselves. But then I asked for your brother's dental records.
They prove your brother Max was the victim, not you, Leo.
Father? Leo?
Max had it coming to him. He had bought up enough stock to force me out of the company. Told me I was losing too much money. That I had lost touch with my audience.
Me! Leo Barnett, the king of horror.
How'd you do it, Leo?
When we were kids, we would try to fool people into believing that Max was me and I was Max. When he came out here a couple of days ago to tell me that he was in and I was out, I talked him into playing our little childhood prank one more time, just to see if he really wanted to run a studio. So he came down to the stage pretending it was me. I killed the lights, and I killed Max.
And that's how you passed the lie detector test. When I asked if you had killed Leo Barnett, all you had to do was tell the truth. You killed Max, not Leo.
Why then the fang marks?
A little showmanship. The Barnett touch.
Peter, show Mr. Barnett the Burke touch.
No, I refuse. You tell him.
You think I'm gonna tell him? Why should I tell him?
Because you work for him, that's why, and you should tell him.
This whole thing was your fault. You tell him.
Tell me what?
Hey, Henry! How'd your driving test go?
Oh, my goodness, look at the time. Where'd my watch go? I have to go to the fish market before the clams close.
Vinny.
Yeah, what's going on?
Sounds like I got some bad news.
We have some good news, too.
And that is?
I passed my driver's test.
Hey, Henry, good for you. Great job. You see? You see?
And the bad news?
After I passed the written part, I had to take the driving test. Vinny was so nervous, he started driving his fish truck right behind us to see how I was doing.
You know, I just want to see if you shouldn't make any mistakes, you know.
And?
The examiner told me to pull over and parallel park.
Well, I thought he was going to make a right. So I started to make it, and I crashed into your rolls, you know, your rolls. But don't worry, the estimate's just $2,500.
Ouch.
Well, that's not too bad.
That's for my truck. Your rolls is $16,855. And change.
And change.
Give or take.
Give or take.